I was just watching the Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 trailer, and all I saw was comments about Mommy Longlegs being a baddie, and I was so confused. But maybe it's like a Miss Incredibles kind of thing. Stretchy flexibility or whatever. But anyways, let's talk about the game. I just finished Chapter 1, and I'm hooked. And I can't wait to get started on Chapter 2. So let's get into it. We let Poppy out of the case, but she randomly disappeared. The way we entered from Chapter 1 is now blocked off, and we're venturing deeper into the factory, which I think is a terrible thing to do, but hey. Let's do the opposite. They added a new grappling Tarzan ability where you have to swing yourself over while holding onto a handle. There's also these cutouts of each character that end up talking to you and saying different phrases. Pretty creepy. So I end up going in this room, grabbing the key, and wouldn't you know it, we end up in the office of Elliot Ludwig, the founder of Playtime. You know, I don't know why, but I feel like Poppy is his daughter. So after going down a vent, we end up finding Poppy in a room and she's trying to help us get out.
I didn't mean to scare you.
Yeah, because who could be scared of a live doll dressed as a clown? Anyways, we're forced to follow her throughout the map for a little bit until she gets kidnapped.
I need you to trust me.
Thank God. Now let's get out of here. Unfortunately, we have to jump in the hole after her. Next, I have to turn on some random circuit that's pretty hard, and now I have to get my hand stolen by the McBaddie herself. You know, I've heard of lonely housewives, but this is crazy. So she hits us with the cliche, I challenge you to a duel through 3 minigames, and now I'm walking around with one hand. The game station looks run down and creepy, there's a jungle gym, and then there's these 3 minigames here. Long story short, I'd never bring my kids here. So the first minigame is muscle memory, and after traveling through a tunnel that a prisoner could use to escape jail, we end up in a green hand manufacturing unit, and the green hand allows us to charge up our hand with electricity temporarily. But, of course, everything's run down and doesn't work, so we're fixing it as we go along. When we finally get our new green hand, we charge it up and get out of there. So we're playing a game that's kind of like Simon Says here with the muscle memory, and honestly, I am a beast at Simon Says, and I'm proud of it.
Blue, red, magical, questionalness,
Okay, I am not that good. So I overload the system and crash it, and Mama Baddie finally gives me a note for the first part of the train code that we need to escape. The door is locked, so we have to crawl through some vents to end up in the toy reject room. There's a puzzle where you have to move the claw to the dinosaur, and honestly, I'm sad to say that I got stuck here for about 20 minutes. When I finally got Barney out of the way, we moved on to yet another complicated puzzle. We're back at the game station checking out the slides before moving on to the next minigame, Whack-A-Wuggy. And in the craziest Jerry Springer episode I've ever seen, there's mini Huggy Wuggies everywhere coming out of each hole, and I just know that he's the father. So after shoving all those kids back in their tubes, Mama Baddie gives us yet the second note to use on the train to get out of here. There's a cool broken rainbow spiral staircase scene. Then Huggy Wuggy's side chick decides to come and help us. Honestly, I thought this was going to be another chase scene and she was going to attack me, but it turned out for the better. So even though we killed like 50 of her kids, she opens the gate and now we have to finish this train cart puzzle. The train cart is called Barry. I don't know if that's relevant whatsoever. We push Barry into a downwards wooden barricade. We manage to make our way back up to the game station for the final minigame, Statues. The opening door gets stuck, so we end up pulling it. Next, we finish a super complicated circuit again. And now we're playing the third final minigame, where a caterpillar-like dog follows us around. We're only allowed to move when the lights are off, but when they turn on, you have to stand still, and he keeps moving. You're still allowed to look around, but if you decide to move, he'll quickly catch up with you and just eat you alive. I actually died the first time around because at the end there was nothing left there, so Mama McBaddie basically cheated and the dog ate me alive, but then it took me a second to notice that there was a bar up there that I had to climb, and before I could do anything, it was already over. Of course, I came back and whooped his butt, but then Mama McBaddie accused me of cheating, and now she was after me, and of course, this is where the final chase comes in, basically the final boss fight. Here's the audio after I jumped down this hole. I don't trust her for a second. As we're making our way back, her mental state just goes spiraling downwards. Lesson of the day, kids, the hot ones are always the craziest. So we end up in this water treatment room where we need to get a toy to get out of this place. In order to do that, we need to fix an assembly line puzzle. We place the toy in, go in the new room, and get ready for the most complicated circuit yet. When I did finally complete it, I felt very relieved. Next, we go crawling through some vents, fall down, and end up in front of Mommy Longlegs.
We're going to play one last game.
So the final chase begins and we're playing hide and seek and she's running after us while giving us a 10-second head start. Personally, I was kind of panicking and freaking out, so I didn't really have time to look around or search around, so I'm just going to fast forward through a lot of this, but I basically went through the environment as fast as I could. And up until the point to where we got to an emergency exit room where it was blocked off and we couldn't get out, we ended up in a room where the levers were color-coded and they had to be pulled out in a certain order. In order to get the code, we needed to pull ourselves up on this bar at the ceiling to see the numbers in their sequence in order. Yeah, this is where everything just goes to straight biscuits, bro. She's like not a baddie whatsoever anymore. She's just psycho. In order to escape her, we have to look up at the ceiling and hold ourselves up there until she goes by. Next, we're in a room with an incinerator and we're building a part for a machine so I can start cranking and we can open another door. We start pulling the lever, but then Mommy Longlegs comes out and we have to hide back in the furnace until she leaves. Now, as we try to take the same path again, we've set up the final chase.
What have you done? You make me part of you! You can't do this to me!
Okay, so let's recap, guys. We just got into the final chase with Mommy McBaddie, and we just ended up killing her and making her part of the prototype. Although I'd love to take her shoe and sell it on eBay, we gotta get out of here. And I just know that Poppy's gonna be somewhere waiting for us.
Did you kill her? Good. I'll board the train.
So I plug the code into the train, and we're finally setting off into the sunset. Everything is going great, everything is going perfect, and at the very last second, Poppy decides that she wants to betray us. Wow, I hate this girl. She really ended up making us look like clowns right now. That's crazy. So she changes the lever, and we go deeper and deeper into the factory. And before we know it, we get into an accident, and the game ends. Wow, Poppy, you suck. If you needed help, you could have just asked. If you guys made it this far into the video, please smash that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and comment down below your favorite part. I'll catch you guys in the next video.